Good morning, everybody. How are you all? Wow, how are you all doing? Did my stream already start? Okay, good. I should say good evening to you all. For me, it's like what? What's the time now? 4:59 a.m. Debbie, Delvin, Amanda. Who else we got? Cece, Prairie, Tammy Smith. Hi, all. Oh God, it's 89 degrees there. Well, I'll tell you what though, it's a little bit weird the weather over here where I'm at. It says it's 69 degrees. It's only 5 a.m. So today we have an expected high of 87, but rains. So with that, the humidity. I mean, it's not like Dallas or I mean Houston humidity or even Florida humidity, but humidity is there. So I got my cup of Joe here. So yeah, it's a great day. I slept pretty good. I mean, tossed and turned a little bit just because I got a little hot, even though I have the AC on and the fan on. So here it's interesting. We don't have. I mean, we do. I shouldn't say we don't. We do. There's centralized air conditioning and all that stuff, obviously. But for the most parts, homes, what they have is they have those. They're not window ACs, but they're called split air conditioners. So you have these ACs for each room, which kind of makes sense in a way, but it doesn't make sense in a way. Because, for example, let's say you have, I don't know, this is logic or not logic, I don't know. Hi, Cece. So when you have, just in case I didn't say hi to you, say you're cooking, right? And in the kitchen it's always hot as heck because you're cooking and there's fire and there's flame and there's heat and there's all of that stuff. And you have centralized AC, like, does it kind of make sense? Because cooking does generate a little bit of heat, doesn't it? Using the oven and all that stuff. So here they have these window ACs. Typically in the kitchens, nobody has ACs on. And you put on the AC like, wherever you need it, which kind of makes sense, but I don't know how, in terms of fuel efficiency, if you will, energy efficiency, if you will, is it more efficient if you have a AC for the whole house, centralized or room? Because what I do is, when I go to bed, obviously, every room has an AC here. So when you go, when I go to bed, I have the AC on, etc. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm not sitting in that room. There's no need for AC over there. But the room, crockpot heat too. And the room stays quite cool. Like if I shut the bedroom door and all that, the room stays cool. Even though the AC is off, it stays cool for a good 3 hours. It's still cool. So anyway, I come downstairs and I'm sitting in the living room or whatever. I put on the AC there. So interesting, isn't it? But sure, a lot of homes have central AC, but I don't have. I didn't do that. So I figured we may as well get going. What did I do with my sheet of paper? I left it somewhere. What do I do with it? I had a sheet of paper here. Girlfriend. I suppose I chopped it. I had written down some planetary positions. Hang on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me grab that. I mean, I didn't get all of the planetary positions, but I got some because I was like, this is crazy. Oh, they don't have air cons. Oh, Crazy now. So I'm trying to figure out how deep I want to go in this. Yeah, I know, kind of. Truth be told, summertime, it's just Mark and I, right? So we tend to do a lot of grilling, and I prefer that grilling business because it's outside and, it makes sense. But not every day, we prefer to, but we don't end up grilling every single day. So you do end up cooking inside the house and it gets hot. So, excuse me, y'all, while I finish my cup of coffee. So let's take a look at this. Let's dive into this. There are a lot of drama going on even in the planetary whatever, right? And I would direct, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here, all of y'all. This is for entertainment purposes only. These are my observations and my opinions, and allegedly do your own research, do your own due diligence, and form your own conclusions. I am not here to give financial advice, medical advice, or legal advice to anybody. I have to throw that out there. So if you go back and see the videos I did where I did the predictions for the year ahead, and what to expect and all of that, and that I clearly said what's happening with the Canadian elections. I think I did a whole video on that too, but we'll swing back to that, Prairie. Hang on. Hi Denise, how are you? So welcome. So go and watch that because that still stands, right? So we have, so just to say, Vedic astrology, there are 9 planets, right? The Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, I'm missing somebody else, Jupiter, and then we have the North Node and South Node. So North Node and South Node, they call Rahu and Ketu, are not technically planets, but they are considered to be, okay, they are the nodes of the moon, if you will. Vedic astrology does not consider Uranus and Pluto. Don't ask me why, I didn't make the rules, it is what it is, such as such. So, we had all the drama go on where we had all those planets, 6 or 7 planets all aligned, they were all in one house, and, everything like that happened. And then you have Saturn, the major thing, Saturn moving into Pisces on March 29th. And then you had other planets going there, and, all of them having I'm sure all these planets are like, sitting there and sipping gin and juice or whatever, and basically laughing at us and saying, haha, look at these numbskulls, right? I'm sure the planets are not doing that, but it's just my take on it. But just also, planets, I know this is tarot, but I'm delving into astrology. And I try to make the astrology as fun as possible, relatable as possible, because we have to look at things with a positive attitude and not get bogged down, because there are a lot of astrologers who scare the shit out of people saying that, oh my God, and I fell into the trap, y'all. I'm not joking. I fell into the trap too. It is so easy for the human brain to accept woe begone, and woe this and woe that, and then to accept happiness and stuff. I don't know why. I mean, again, the human brain, who knows? They scare the hell out of you saying that, oh my God, this planet in this house means like, oh, 100% the person is going to kick the bucket and this and that. Well, the only thing is 100% we are all going to kick the bucket at one time or the other. Okay, that's said and done. Let's leave that aside. And like in tarot, when you see the death card and the 10 of swords and you're this card and that card, oh my God, it means death. Well, in my humble opinion, nothing wrong with death. I mean, if there's life, there's death, and it creates something, that thing has to be destroyed. Nothing is never ending, right? Including this universe. So they scare you and they say, and people buy into that, and people believe in that, and people don't realize that at the end of the day, there is something called free will. And I will fess up to it. I too fell into the trap of, oh my God, this astrologer is saying this, and Even though I knew astrology, I mean, psychology, man, I mean, how people mind fuck you is ridiculous. So and again, like I say, astrology as a craft is never wrong. Astrology is a science, is mathematics, is astronomy, but astrologers make mistakes in their interpretation and also for salaciousness. It's a known fact. Okay, there, I'm done with it. So even though there are planets that are not not in their idea, how shall I say it? So if you take a fish from the saltwater fish and put it in fresh water, a bucket of fresh water, that fish is not going to, it may survive for a little bit, it may do all right, but the fish is not going to do very well because it needs all that salt and whatever the heck is going on in its natural environment for it to thrive at its optimum best. The planets are like that. If they are removed, if they move from their comfort zone, if they move from their home, they relocate to somewhere else. And when they relocate to some other house, you have shitty ass neighbors, or there are leaks in the house, or the roof is this, or roof is that, or whatever. They are not going to be happy there. So think of this, the planets like that, right? And also, some planets just basically don't get along with other planets, and some planets are basically it's always a push and pull, like a power struggle type of thing. So when all this happens, it automatically affects us depending on which house the particular planet is. So when I know this is tarot, so hang on. So we have, even though we have only 9 planets in Vedic astrology, there's still 12 houses, that is 12 zodiac signs. Vedic astrology does another thing. Each one of those zodiac signs, they divvy it up into, we call them padas, right? So degrees. So also the effect or the power or the strength or lack thereof depends on which particular degree which planet is sitting at, and each of those degrees have like it's like a manual transmission, right? Your first gear is the lowest and your fifth gear is the fastest, that kind of stuff. And imagine if you're in the first gear, you're driving, think about manual transmission, right? Well, yeah, we go way, and by the way, y'all, I know how to drive a manual transmission because that's how I learned. And I actually do enjoy it even now. I'll tell you a little story about that later. So if a planet is in a particular degree, one of the slowest degrees, its power is a little bit less because it's trying to rev up, right? When it gets into the correct degree, then it's at its full power, full throttle, then the effects are a little different. So things like that, right? Keep all of that in mind. And also, if you're sitting, if a planet is sitting in a particular house, right across the street in another house, which other planets are there? How do they look at each other? What is the view? All those things come into play. Having said all of that, remember, America is a Cancerian and Trump is a Gemini. I have said this many a time, I don't much care for Trump. The only thing I really appreciate about him is, and I will say it again, the only thing I appreciate about him is the fact that he has made a pretty good job. Of course, he's dropped the ball on shipping off that one guy who wasn't even an MS-13 gang member to Ecuador, wherever the heck that is, and that drama is going on. But for the most part, I think he's done a good job of controlling the border and all that, address me as they, them bullshit. He's put a stop to kind of that stuff. I mean, they're fools who are doing it still. That I appreciate. Do I necessarily appreciate and understand all the other things that he's doing? Some of it I understand, but I don't think it's being done the right way. My humble opinion. Having said all of that, we always look at the chart of where the president or prime minister of the country and the country's chart. Sometimes we also look at the opposition party, right, or the minority or the leader of the house, or if it is like who is the leader of the Democrat party. We look at that too. But truly, in America, that doesn't play much of a role because they are not the ruling party, right? So, so yes, yeah. I wake up in the morning and have allergies, yeah. So, we'll take some planets that are, of course, Saturn is in Pisces at the moment, right? We also have Venus direct in Pisces from 13th April to May 31st, right? And it conjuncts Rahu and Saturn, and it's also hemmed between Neptune and Saturn. So, what are the some of the what is the outcome of this? Well, there's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of manipulation, a lot of the pendulum swinging one end to the other in terms of your emotions and investments, right? Again, this is general. Now, specifically when you're looking at a person's chart, that's a whole different thing, right? So, when this happens, we also have emotional manipulation. Remember I said manipulation in emotions and also in investments. So when this happens, put two and two together. Do not make emotional investments. Do not make decisions based on emotions. Well, you should never make decisions based on emotions, right? Ideally, you use your head, your brain, right? So when you look at what's going on, America today stands divided in terms of when Trump presented, oh, bring manufacturing back to America, this, that, and the other. I'm all over the map, bear with me. Nobody has ever, in all this bullshit drama that's going on the news, everybody and their puppy dog, including me, having a say in the matter, nobody is talking about why, in the very first place, did manufacturing leave America? Why did they move? Why did these global corporates, whatever, move manufacturing and their head offices out of America? Why did they do that in the first place? Who was in government at that time? Which government? Which president? Why did they do that? And when they do that, what really happened to the American economy? How did that impact the American people? Right? So I call these people's bluff because they moved manufacturing out, they shipped everything over because America wanted cheap. So you ship it out, you put all your wants and needs in the hands of manufacturers like Taiwan and I don't know, China and South America and Mexico and wherever the heck. And then American consumers go nuts, right? Because it's cheap, and don't tell me America is all about quality. It is not. Just look at the way they shop. It's all price wars, right? So America wants cheap, and then they buy and all these countries are making money. Well, you go knocking on somebody's door and say, look, every month, every year, I'm going to put so much money in your pockets. I just need you to do A, B, and C. They'll be like, yeah, as long as I make profit, I'm okay with it. So they all buy into it too, these other countries, right? And now America turns around and says, oh, it's affected our economy, we want to bring everything back. Well, that's fine, that's logical. You wanted it out and you wanted it back in, that's fair. But the repercussions it has, and is it really a wise decision? And I think it's a wise decision to bring manufacturing back, but how you go about doing it, right? How you go about doing it and how you it's like basically, your children are all set in the school district and then you're driving by to visit a friend and one day you realize, oh, you know what, I like that house, I want to live in that house. And without asking your kids, without asking your husband, without thinking about the finances and how you're going to do it and the logistics behind it, you just go home and tell everybody, pack your bags folks, we're moving, and you just uproot and go over there. And then you try to figure out the logistics and how. Does that make sense? It doesn't. So this is just my way of looking things. So it is a shit show, and I do believe he has hit upon the emotional nerve, if you will, and trying to convince people and look at things from an emotional perspective so that it justifies this rash act, but not rash. I mean, hell, bring manufacturing back to America. I'm all for it. But how do you go about doing it? You basically hold a gun to these people and say, or else, well, that's not going to work out, because keep in mind, power is, first and foremost, power is an illusion, and power corrupts, which, case in point, getting to the top is much easier than staying on top, which is what America is struggling with. And the way he's going about doing this, holding everybody hostage, at some point in time, this is another thing I don't see people talk about. America is not the sole consumer / market in the world. Like, everybody's talking about, if America stops buying, all these countries will die. They're not going to die. That's exaggeration. They may struggle, because every month you had 10 people as your regular customers, and all of a sudden, like, you lose, like, say 30% of your customers. It is going to hit your bottom line, but then you will recover, because you're by default you're going to try and pick up business or do whatever you need to do to push business to recover, to compensate for this whatever, right? The 3 people that you might have lost. So keep that in mind, that these other countries, all this drama, oh, he hit them with 150, they come back at 125. That's what we are being fed. We really don't know exactly what percentage, right? I mean, general public, they are not showing us the paperwork. Like, I go to the doctor, I've written down the sheet of paper. Like, are they showing us the diagnosis, the actual proof of it? No, we just say, yeah, whatever they're putting out in the news must be the truth. I mean, really? Okay, fine, even if it is 150%. So America, not, in my opinion, is not the only consumer in the world. Okay, they are a pretty large chunk of it, but it's not going to be all and end all for manufacturing across the globe. They may struggle for a little bit, but they'll pick right up, and there are other consumers everywhere else in the world that are also consuming cars and clothes and I don't know, contact lenses and batteries and lithium batteries and light bulbs and whatever the heck, right? It's not like the rest of the world is just living like Stone Age. They're not. You know, America people still talk about third world countries. First and foremost, that particular term pisses the shit out of me, because that is so archaic. It is developed and developing countries. And whenever I hear people use third world countries, it's like, you're an idiot, shut your mouth. I mean, who are you? What are you talking about, right? So, when this drama is going on, keep in mind, at some point in time, the rest of the world is, for lack of a better term, is going to gang up and is going to retaliate. And when that retaliation happens, if that hasn't already started rolling, America is going to really truly see another level of suffering. And that is what people, the general public, do not seem to realize. This is my humble opinion. I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just saying. People may say she's talking crap, but oh well, like I said, it's my opinion. You're entitled to your opinions and your observations, right? And these are my observations. So when you use emotions, and Trump is very good at emotional manipulation, we know that. He's very good at emotional blackmail, we know that. And you use that to sway investments, to sway commerce, to sway, whatever, you're going to have devastating effects. Anything done from an emotional perspective, from an emotional point, is going to have devastating effects. But here's the thing. Now, those are who's at Kim. Hi, Kim. Those people. This is when true wealth is going to be created, y'all. Seriously. Remember 2008 when we had that crazy slump? I mean, multi-millionaires were born in that year. You have liquid cash, you are going to kill it, right? So I do think this is a manipulation of the stock market. I bet you these people have made money, all these big guys, right? Even though Elon Musk may have lost $100 million because of Tesla stocks going down, don't for a minute sit there and think like, oh my God, he's lost it all. No, from the back end, I'm sure the guy's made money. I mean, and then he'll turn right around and buy the stocks back up. What are you going to do? A lot of people do insider trading. That's what this is. Don't sit there and tell me that Trump is not done insider trading. Now, technically, he's not supposed to, but you think he doesn't have multi-gazillion whatever umbrella corporations with his kids and grandkids and all and sundry? Hell yeah, he's not a clean guy. He just isn't. He never was. He's all about lining his pockets, and he always was like that, and he's always been open about it. So my thing is, how come the US government is not holding him, or the court is not, or the United States people are not holding him accountable? Because this is clearly, blatantly, like insider trading. That's really what's going on. And look at how the stock market fluctuated. And all this thing about is going to get really bad before it gets better. Well, yeah, it's always darkest before light, but the devastation, right? It's crazy. So those people who are investing in stock markets or whatever, or buying and trading, I'm going to say, if you are planning on doing that investment, if you think you'll go into it to make a quick buck, don't do it. You're going to be caught with your pants down. But if you're willing to play long haul, this is a great time. Invest your money and hold on to it. But again, I'm not here to give financial advice, because I'm not. So that was a long one. And then we have having, even though we have that drama going on with Venus, because it is like sitting there with Pisces and Neptune, and that's the thing, because it's kind of hemmed in between Pisces and Neptune. You have, and what is Neptune? Neptune is confusion, illusion, and dreams. And Pisces, it's and Saturn is restrictions, and Saturn is being grounded, and Saturn is what's the word? It's a little bit of a hard energy around, right? So that's why you have all that going on. Now, another thing with Venus direct in Pisces, there is going to be a tremendous amount of uptick, if you will, in terms of creativity, artistic things, media, and again, scams. So gaslighting, what is happening here right now? It is gaslighting, it is scams, right? That's what's going on with the economy in Hi Holly in the US. So watch out for that also as individuals. So by the way, Venus is caught between Neptune and Saturn, I'm going to say between the 25th of April to May. It's a short window, but still it has a lot of what you say, a bang, right? It carries a lot of weight. Then we have Jupiter going direct into Gemini, which is a good thing, right? Isn't Trump a Gemini? So there you have it. And what is Jupiter? Jupiter is go big or go home, right? Millionaires will never get poorer. You're absolutely right. They never will. Then you have what you call Cancer. Now, when you look at Cancer, remember, Jupiter doesn't just rule Sagittarius. Jupiter also rules Pisces. So keep that in mind, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if America is Cancer, Jupiter is moving into Gemini, right? So Gemini is a 12th house, right? So what is the 12th house? Institutions, expenditures. It talks about things coming full circle, hidden supports, karmic things playing out. Because Gemini is the 12th house for Cancer. So yes, things are, that's what he's trying to do, bring back everything back. But is it going to be a smooth flow? It's not. It's be prepared, y'all. And also I want to say, the natural calamities I had spoken about, I had predicted in my other videos. Please go and watch them. I think I had done one in December for the year 2025, what to expect, and early January too I had done another one. Go and watch it. It's come true. I've talked about, things falling from the sky, water associated. It is going to continue. It's not done. We are going to have some more of the drama. And also with regards to electricity. So wait, some planet is moving into Aquarius. Who's moving into Aquarius? I better stop doing that because I can get so caught up in it. Okay, hang on. I can't. I have to. Give me 1 second. There's another thing I wanted to talk about and I didn't make a note of it. Who's moving into Aquarius? Hang on. I want to see. Where is that thing? There we go. Current transits. Come on, load up. April 16th, Mercury enters Aries. That's another, it's coming up right in a couple of days. Then April 18th, Mars enters Leo. April 19th, Sun enters Taurus. We have the new moon on April 27th. Then April 20, well, this is the Western whatever. May 4th, there we have it. Pluto turns retrograde in Aquarius. That's interesting. What is Aquarius? Aquarius is communication. Aquarius is internet. Aquarius is electricity. Aquarius is computers, software, social media. So that's Pluto. See, Pluto again is regeneration. So there is going to be some kind of a. That's not what. I'm not going to mess with this because I swear this thing is going to go crazy on me, and I'll probably click out of the whole window and then I'll lose it. So there are some interesting planetary positions. Stay warm, stay thing. Yes, Venus is also to real estate. So it is going to affect our real estate market for sure. Ridiculous. This is just crazy. And the common man, y'all, I was just curious yesterday and I went online to look at the price of eggs, and I just looked at Costco. It was like $8 for 12 or $9 for 12. What the hell are people going to be eating then? Seriously. Okay, let's go. Show me what I need to say. Give me 1 second. Let me just say my prayer. Okay. All right. No, come on. So we have Uranus. Oh, sudden changes and shocks. Water. So stay tuned. We're going to have some more drama with that. We're going to have some more drama. And then Sagittarius. Look, this is like interesting. So stay tuned. We are going to have some more drama in terms of natural calamities, things falling out of the sky, things with electricity like shocks, literally shocks, and also electricity and water don't go along. They do not. So, and then through Sagittarius and his Jupiter, and Sagittarius is like, yep, you know what? We're going to go big now. Let's do it. And publishing. I'm going to talk about publishing, like social media and all that stuff, and news and all. There's going to be a lot of shocks happening even over there. Start off with this bang, right? What's that song? Bang bang, something something. I don't know the lyrics. And then we have Chariot, which is Cancer, right? Ow. And then we have temperance, right? This is interesting because this kind of stuff you can't. So don't just limit yourself by saying, oh, these two cards are together, so it has a specific meaning. No, we never limit ourselves because there's a lot of stuff going on. Central to the whole thing is Cancer, because America is a Cancer sign. And okay. There we go. I'm trying to kind of move these cards so that I have enough space over here. I think I'll let this be, and I'll take this deck. I'll just do this then. Sometimes I feel like I miss my whole, arsenal of the things I use for my readings, because I like to use all of that, and sometimes I feel, keep it simple. So. Come on, buddy. Y'all, I decided not to buy any more tarot cards because God knows I don't need any more decks, right? But I had gone the other day to a local bookstore. We have some really nice, cute little bookstores, and people here are very, very, half-price books we have in the US, or the used books, or something like that we have over there. The huge ones here, it's not like that. They do have these big stores. It's not like itty-bitty stores, but they have a lot more of them. And people are really good about recycling books and all these old books and all. They don't throw it away at all here. It's like, it's a big thing because here in India, in Vedic astrology or the Vedic religion, Saraswati, the goddess Saraswati, she's a goddess of knowledge, right? And so books, because it's learning, it's communication, it's information, is considered to be sacred. So people don't just, I'm sure there are some people who just, destroy them, but for the most part, people value, respect, and appreciate. So they do a lot of recycling, and if you're lucky, you get some really fantastic old books that you've never seen, and prints and stuff like that. And it's not crazy expensive. It's like some of the stores in the US, what they do is they go to Amazon and they see if it's not available in Amazon, even though the book is worth only $2, they hike it up to $58. That's just price gouging. Here it's not like that. People price it appropriately. And I saw some old decks of tarot cards, and I was like, oh, I'm so tempted. And then I'm like, yeah, no. Because I already bought a whole bunch of books. I did place an order for some books brand new because they were new in publication, and I haven't received all of them. I think in all I had placed an order for 16 books, and so I'm bringing all that back home because I can't do without them. And a lot of these books are not available as PDF, and yeah, people may say, oh, it's wasting resources, but this is all recycled paper, so I don't feel bad about that. So anyway, the decks I saw were just fantastic. I'm resisting, y'all. I'm resisting. Okay. We have the 9 of Swords. You can't make up this shit. And then we have the Ace of Swords. Clarity. Man, clarity. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay. Let's break this down and then we'll pick up some more cards, right? Okay, let's see. So we start out with Uranus and the Death card. As I spoke to you a little bit ago, I said Uranus was where? Somewhere, right? I don't want to... Yeah, I know. I love reading paper books. Hang on, y'all. Where is Uranus going? Pluto turns retrograde in Aquarius, and Pluto is what did I say? It's regeneration, and Uranus is sudden shocks and changes. How fun! And then we have the Death card, and the Death card is Scorpio, and it talks about change and rebirth. We have a lot of shit that's going to go down, y'all. This is pivotal. You don't need me to tell you that. This is such a pivotal time in American economy, American politics, American life, that the changes that are coming, a lot of people who are pro-Trump will do anything. Trump farts also, they'll be like, ooh, so fantastic. No, you never smelt a fart like this ever. People will say that. But those are the crazy Trumpers. But having said that, how is this incredible pivotal moment going to affect the American people? Central to the reading is Cancer and water, obviously. So, yes, water is the sustenance for basic existence, as is air, secondary to air, right? Having said that, with the Chariot card, it says, yes, focusing on balancing your energies, your powers, your equilibrium, your resources to be able to progress in a measured way. The problem is, whatever is going on is not in a measured way. It's shock. Think about Uranus again. Uranus is shock. It's like, oh, I'm doing fine, I'm okay, there's an electric fence, I don't realize, I'm eating the grass, and then I go a little too close and electric fence is going to jolt the shit out of me. And then I step back dazed, and then I get up and go, and I forget and jolt again. So it's like constantly, this you get a jolt and you fall back and you recover and you walk off, you're fine. But the problem here is that jolt, that electricity is going to follow you, and the moment you kind of relax for a second, it's going to jab at you and again say, no, you can't relax. Here's another poke, take this. That is what is happening. It's this constant. So at some point in time, the people, the economy, the finances, whatever, is going to reach saturation, and they just can't bear anymore. And that's when you see all the people revolting. People are revolting already. Now, another thing I want to talk about is, not many people are saying this either. Keep in mind, China holds the note for US. How much does the US owe China? I mean, that's the ace up their sleeve. If push comes to shove, rest assured, China will call their note. I mean, they are more logical, they are showing a little bit more restraint than the US, right? Sure, on the news you may see a lot of these Chinese manufacturers saying the moment the tariffs went up, our orders got cancelled, and this, that, and the other, and all the stock is sitting and we've shut shop and all. There will be some extreme cases, but don't just buy into it. I mean, think logically. Look for yourself. Just don't buy what the media is telling you, including me. I mean, go do your due diligence, right? Do your own research and form your own conclusions. So it is going to be a bit of a struggle, but then they will recover. Without a doubt, they will recover. Now, having said that, here you have central to the thing, the Cancer. Is Cancer having this balance? Is the United States having this balanced approach? It's not. It's not, because the person who's sitting in the White House understands. He doesn't understand. That's his MO. That is way of life. Is shock. And Trump's always been like that. Shock. Right? And remember, if ever China decides, if China says, fuck y'all, we've had enough of y'all, right? Your drama, your bullshit. That's fine. We are going to call your freaking bluff. And if China does that, America is finished. If they call their note back, hey, go ask anybody. Think about it. Your bank, you are constantly late in your house payments. You give this excuse, that excuse. Finally, the bank says, I've had enough of you. I'm going to foreclose on you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, I don't know why nobody wants to talk about that. They still think, they think that every other leader in every other country is a wimp except for Trump. People, I feel sorry for these people who have these conclusions. Trump is not the only man who has a set of balls, mind you. So, America should get over itself. Then we have Sagittarius and Temperance. Now, let's take a look about Cancer and Sagittarius, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sagittarius is the 6th house from Cancer, right? So, what does the 6th house imply? 6th house talks about work. It talks about enemies. It talks about diseases, it talks about friends, it talks about labor, worries, debts, debt as in DEBTS, debts, no, debts. It talks about the restless mind and all that drama. So America has got to be super, super careful, because this is when we are racking up debts, right? And then this is when we are really messing with both the countries, the economies, the governments we call friends, and those who we consider enemies. We have to have a very balanced approach, and if we do not have a balanced approach, what happens next? We end up with the Nine of Swords. And what is the Nine of Swords? Nine of Swords is a constant how do you say, worries, stress, depression, stress. Now, worries, depression, stress, how do we translate that, right? It's the economy that's stressed out. Look at the way our economy is. Look at the way people are. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And then you move on to Ace of Swords, which is right under the Cancer card. Clarity or lack of clarity, right? Do we have clarity? Do we not have clarity as a nation? Does the leader have clarity or lack of clarity? I say there is a lack of clarity. He is in a position when he's like, I have a list, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I want to do. Maybe some of that is good, but how he is using it, how is he going about using his power to accomplish what he does? You can always take the shortcut and basically run people down dead and reach your finishing line, or you can take a more measured approach to lessen the casualties and still reach the finishing line with flying colors. What is the approach you're going to take? And Trump, think about it, he's Mercury, there's nothing measured about him. He is a man of extremes. So there you have it. So I would say there is a lack of clarity here. And then you come up with the Knight of Cups at the end. So the Knight of Cups says, sure, there is going to be some changes, there is going to be some emotional changes happening, or rather these changes, he's still counting on the emotions and the support of the people. Like, let's say, oh, America, we're going to bring all the jobs your great-grandfather lost or your grandfather lost, we're going to turn around and bring those jobs back. That's a very lofty idea, but the grandpa's dead and gone, great-grandfather is dead and gone. So now when you bring those jobs back, my question to the American public is, are you willing to go to work? And if you say yes, I'm willing to go to work, what is the salary you're willing to work for? Then they're going to say, no, we still want minimum wages of $21 an hour. Then let's factor all that and cost of manufacturing. Then how much is that same item going to cost if it is manufactured in America? And if it is going to cost $50 a piece because you have to factor in cost of manufacture and your profit, then how many people are willing to buy? Think about that for a second, y'all. You bring manufacturing back to America, the cost of the product is by default going to go up. So when it goes up, are the consumers still going to be willing to buy at that escalated price? And if they're going to be willing to buy, does the economy support and can withstand purchasing at that price? Because if it's going to cost $50, do you have enough money coming in to spend it, disposable income, to buy everything at a higher value? Do people think about these things? Look, y'all, I don't claim to be like, a financial guru or anything. It's just common questions, right? Like normal questions, right? I'm going to be able to buy that I don't know, the cell phone, right? iPhone. I'm going to be able to, fine, it's made in America, great, I have a lot of pride for it. But what is the price of the cell phone going to be? Okay, it's going to be like $2,000 instead of $1,000. Am I earning that much of money, right? Am I getting that much minimum wages to be able to throw $2,000 in an iPhone? Because keep in mind, just iPhone is not going to go up, cost of living is going up. So if I earn $5,000 a month, how much? I mean, I'm not going to buy a cell phone just go with it. How much money am I going to pay for eggs? How much money am I going to pay for fuel? And will I have enough disposable income to not only buy that iPhone, but also feed and sustain the consumer market? So, I don't know, y'all. What can I say? Worrying times. And look at all the retirements and funds and all that just vanishing. So, see, it's like an athlete, right? It's like this supersonic athlete. He is out on injury, and he missed a few games. He had to have surgery, he had to have physiotherapy, and then he has to come back to the playing field like your star quarterback. It's not like everything is going to happen in 3 months and he's going to be back and he's going to be playing at the same level. They have to have a measured approach so that they don't injure him again, and they have to be able to ease him in so that he will be able to play at a better level. And the very first game he's not going to be because you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So they have to ease him in, otherwise he's done. So it's the same way. Will it have a good result? It will, but that's the point. They are selling. Oh, we'll bring manufacturing back and everything will be fine. How is it going to be fine? Explain. How long is it going to take for America to actually be fine after manufacturing comes back into the country? And for that period, what is the devastation that's going to happen to our economy, to our people, our finances, and how much is that devastation going to cost the country? So you buy this bottle of water, right? And it costs $1. If you buy outside, in the country it's going to cost $5, but the amount of effort, you know what I'm saying? I mean, economics, I don't need to explain that to you. I'm probably boring you all to tears. You're like, Kitana, just shut up and read the cards. Okay, I will. All right, 10 of Wands. All right, here we go. Knight of Wands. Oh my God, 10 of Swords. You can't make up this shit, man. Seriously, you can't. So here we have that, right? I spoke about that. We have the 10 of Wands. So not only is the emotional and mental stress the American people are struggling with, it's really crazy. And it's going to limit us because the 10 of Wands pops up right on that. So Swords is the emotions, the energy, the feelings, the emotions, right? It's the mind, the stress. And then you have the 10 of Wands. So when you have the 9 of Swords energy, which talks about anxiety, grief, and depression and mental stress, it is going to physically limit we know psychosomatic illnesses, right? Once it starts physically affecting us, then our actions are affected, then that's a whole nother ball game. So this is going to become very, very burdensome in physical sense, which is like the existence, the actions, the going-ons, the day-to-day activities. It is absolutely going to be a super, super burden on people. No jokes about it. No, I am waiting to hear the Treasury say we're going to print more notes. Don't be surprised if that happens. Then we have the lack of clarity, in my humble opinion, and then you have the Knight of Wands. Now, Wands is the fastest acting not the fastest, the Swords is, but the Wands is action, right after. So here we have the Knight of Wands, and what is the Knight of Wands telling us? It's like, yes, in terms of creativity, and have the freedom to use creativity to take action, right? But that's the point. There is lack of clarity there. The government has the head of the state has lack of clarity over there. He wants to take action. See, his plans may be lofty, but how is he going about implementing it? Like, he is trying to come up with all these, like, go for the punch, right? It's that very Martian and Jupiter energy is like bang, 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 right? But that is not necessarily the right approach to have, because that approach is costing 10 of swords to the people, because it's like, listen, we had the Knight of Cups earlier, and here we have the 10 of swords. It's like, no, it's absolutely going to devastate a lot of microeconomies within the country. I'm not talking about other countries, within America. Industries, devastates micro industries. Go look at what the farmers are saying in America, how they are struggling with things. So, and think about it, y'all. States like California, etc., which supply so much of agricultural states, which supply so much of produce, a pretty large percentage of produce for American people, if they start shutting down, what the hell, right? So, anyhow, this is very, very sad, because 10 of wands and then we have 10 of swords too. That's like some serious, it's like hitting rock bottom. I'm going to say our economy is going to hit rock bottom. Be prepared for it. I mean, they're saying, oh, we may go into recession. I'm just saying we are in recession. And I feel that, it's going to get pretty bad. Why are all these people like, don't listen to me, listen to the financial gurus, see what they're saying. And go watch Fox News, go watch CNN, go watch other micro newses, go watch independent journalists, watch everybody and use your logical brain. Don't use your emotions. Logical brain, and figure out facts for yourself. Wake up, people, wake up. If you haven't woken up already, look, then just go to sleep. Like, just forget it. Just hide under the carpet. That's fine. Blondie RX, hi, how are you? Welcome. So now we have Temperance again. Whoa, Temperance is popping up quite a bit today, twice already. And then we have the Six of Swords. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Delvin says that rich people don't have to worry about things getting a bit more expensive. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. Their pockets are deeper. So let's look at Temperance. So here's the thing. This energy, how do you temper this energy? How do you manage this energy? With Temperance, what is Temperance? Temperance is Sagittarius. Remember, we had Temperance here earlier, right? Balancing. No. So what is Temperance? Temperance is a Sagittarius card. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Temperance is saying, here, hold on a second. We need to moderate. We need to understand, the repercussions, the ripple effect. Is it cost of production? We talk about in manufacturing, we talk about in finances or whatever, manufacturing. We talk about cost of production, right? It's not just, the outer material. I'm not going to show the brand over here because this is a brand. Well, I won't. This pen is made out of actual paper. The outer, it's not plastic, it's recycled paper. It blew my mind. It's recycled paper, and then you have the nib, whatever. So cost of manufacturing. And then you use it, and then you tag on your profits and your this and that and everything, and you think, so what is the cost? How much is this whole reevaluation, juggling, restructuring, doing all this stuff? How much is this truly costing the American people? All this drama with the end goal. His projection is the end goal is that, right? It's that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But getting there, what is the devastation that's going to have on the American people? It may be true. Maybe there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I don't know. But because I've never gone looking for that pot of gold I don't know, has anybody ever, like in pictures you see both ends and they say if you go dig you'll find pot of gold over there, and like, has anybody actually tested that to see if it's true? So I'm just curious. So having that measured approach, devastation is devastation, that's already there, but having a measured approach may moderate, may tamper down, may tone down that devastation, right? Instead of like burn baby burn, it'd be like, okay, scald a little bit here and there. That's what we want. That would be ideal. That's more bearable for the average public, right? I mean, think about it. Think about where real estate is right now. The other day I saw a news clipping of this guy, man, I don't even know what his, Tahir or something his name is. That husband and wife couple from California, they were doing house flipping and then they got divorced, and he married another lady who looks just like the first wife, FYI, but whatever. And they had him on the show and he's like, I own thousands of real estate properties. I'm like, dude, good for you, man. I'm not saying he hasn't worked hard. I'm sure he's come up, he's made sacrifices, all that. Good for him. But the way he talks, I own thousands of property. I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? But, measured approach. And he was talking about this too. It's like, if you're in there to make a fast buck, those days are gone. So now, if you have the power to for the long haul, you will do good. And that's very true. I believe in that. The days of making a quick buck, right, I feel are gone. Here you have the liquid cash and you wait, you sit on it, hold it. Cash is king, y'all, period. Cash is king. It always has been. And then you invest at the right time, you're set for life, right? So having a measured approach, I think, is very, very, very important, and that might help lessen the damage it's going to cost us getting to the finishing line. But are they going to do it? Because here you have the Six of Swords, right? The Six of Swords on the right. So what's going on over here? I almost missed that one. What's going on over here? Here, Trump is saying, listen, y'all, hang on, because I'm crazy like that. Never mind, missed that. So, what's going on over here in terms of the Six of Swords? What is the Six of Swords energy about? Six of Swords says, like, necessary, transition, and moving. This is necessary. This isn't elective. This isn't a choice. Now the situation is such that you're forced to freaking get in that boat and you're forced to go. Now, does it mean that you're leaving behind devastation? And sometimes the energy, Six of Swords energy is such that, sorry y'all, hang on, let me get my box of tissues. I'm running out of that tissue, hang on. There we go. A little packet of tissues of recycled bamboo paper. It's so, and you know what? I noticed that some of the tissue paper, right? I can't tell you a specific brand because of my allergies. Keep wiping and I get all sore over here. This doesn't give me that. Okay, so I'm so sorry, y'all. Bear with me. Whew. I feel like I need to get my eyes checked again because even these are those transition glasses, right? It's readers and powered also on top, like short and long. I feel like it's blurry. It's not working for me. Anywho, so sometimes the Six of Swords energy, you're leaving devastation and you're moving towards cleaner, calmer waters. Or sometimes you're leaving cleaner, calmer waters and you're moving towards strife and devastation. In this case, you are going to leave a wake of devastation at the back and you're going towards devastation. So either way, it's not working. It's just not going to work. So there is going to be chaos. There is chaos. Clearly we can see, and there is going to be chaos. And then you have the Queen of Wands. So what is the Queen of Wands saying over here, right? So the Queen of Wands energy is saying, like, have the self-confidence and have the self-assuredness to take action. But this could be, and keep in mind, we have Sagittarius, Temperance, we have the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. So having to take action, right? Have the confidence and self-assuredness to take action. But yeah, all that is fine and dandy, but even though you try to convince people and say, hey, rest assured, I'm doing it for your good, for your future, trust in me, Are people going to have that level, continue to have that level of faith and trust and confidence in the system and what drama is unfolding in the US? That's the question. So let's take out some more cards and let's see what's happening. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Hell, y'all, seriously, like I can't even, like, you can't make up this shit. Look at the amount of Sagittarius energy that's coming out of here. What is the Wheel of Fortune? The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. It talks about money, movement, growth, wisdom, fortune, constantly things changing. So, yes, growth, money, movement, all that is fine. Again, we are talking about balance. Again, balancing all these cards. You take Temperance, you take the Star card, you take the Chariot card, you take this card. It talks about balance, having measured approach. That's the problem. I think that the government, what the drama is happening, it's not a measured approach. Yes, in some areas, they're saying like, oh, the Doge has figured out $60 million here, $100 million there. People getting fraudulent social security money, COVID money, your whatever money, and sending money to other countries to fuel their, like sending some X number of $1 million to, I don't know, to some, I won't mention the country's name, so that their journalists can be trained in sensitivity training for LGBTQ, whatever. Why should we, sensitivity training, that's fine and dandy, but why the hell can't your country provide for that? Why should we go to some other country and say, I'm going to give you money to be trained in that? That's not my problem. Go train yourself, fool. Things like that, I agree. Trump is doing good. Bring the money back. We have our own vets over here who are, having to sleep under bridges and do all of that stuff. And go look at the VA. There's so much of corruption there, so much, but it's such a sensitive thing. Nobody wants to talk about it in mainstream media. How much corruption in the VA? How much bullshit? Y'all, I'm going to say, the glasses are coming off. Hear me out. Go do your research, right? So I'm not going to mention names, but we hear about these cases. Go do your research. How the hell do some of these people in the military retire earning like $150,000, $200,000 a year? That's your retirement. How do you end up getting that amount of money in retirement per year? I don't understand the salary scales. I assume you got to retire high up in the ladder to be able to get that amount of money every month in retirement. Keep in mind, those guys don't pay taxes, right? And they still get discount everything through the VA. Now, yes, they have sacrificed their lives for the country. Absolutely, there is no doubting that. Should we be annoyed at the fact that they're earning these high incomes? No. If you earned it and it's rightfully yours, hell man, go for it. Hell lady, you got it. But how many of these people have conveniently slipped and fallen at the job, or conveniently done this and done that and end up getting disability? Why don't they investigate how many such fraudulent cases are there? Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Because if you know who, if you know how, you can also create a situation and fraudulently. I'm not saying every retired person in the military does that, or person who's going to be retiring does that, or every single person in the military is a crook. I am not saying that. I commend them for the sacrifices they made for our country. I appreciate it, and we've lost so many people, which is unfortunate. But then we also have to, we cannot turn a blind eye to the bullshit that goes on and only look at the good stuff. You have to have a perspective and view of both. So the amount of fraud that goes on, why isn't anybody investing millions and hundreds of millions of dollars? If they clean up all of that, the VA independently can take care of all our military people who are coming back and sleeping under bridges and fund mental health treatments better. But will they talk about it? No. So look, anyway, enough of that. So here we go again with this balanced approach. So unfortunately, as much as the universe is saying we have to have a balanced approach, are we going to, when I say we, our government, are they going to have a balanced approach? They're not. because there is more, shock value always has a better viewership than a steady thing, right? You know what I mean. So let's go further into this. And then we have the moon card right on on that, and I'll take one more card for the last over there. Let me shuffle that. We have 8 of swords. I can't make up the shit. I thought I saw, let me go look at the planets over here. Where is we are in April already. So we have full moon. Wait, what is today's date? Hang on a second. Is today the 12th? Yeah, for me it's 12th morning. A full moon on April 12th in Libra. That's very interesting. So Libra is ruled by Venus, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth house. Speculation, karma, discrimination. Yeah, this is a little bit. Wait. There we go. Yeah, I hope. Oh, come on. So full moon occurs on Saturday, April 12th, when the sun is in Aries and it forms opposition to the Libra moon. Heightened emotions, y'all. Heightened emotions. See, Aries represents the self. It's the first sign of the zodiac, and Libra represents others, right? Service others. So here we have Aries is insisting, self-assertion is like me, and Libra, talks about compromise. So I feel pretty soon here there is going to be awakening in the government, where central, this is where this is fallen, right? In the government, they are going to wake up and realize, hey, we have to be aware of the fact that we cannot fly solo. America could be the superpower in the world. Even though you are a superpower, you need relationships. You need other countries to be in good. You need to be in good terms with other countries. You need to maintain those friendships and relationships. And so, and we have to, sometimes in relationships, you give a little, you take a, it's compromising, it's negotiating, it's finding the balance, right? And being cognizant of the fact that we can't just keep taking from the rest of the world and not expect them to react. Because if you continue down that path, they will react, and when they react, we are going to be at the receiving end of all that force, and it's going to be devastating. As much as America is a superpower, at push comes to shove, countries are going to stop and think, hold on a second. And if they gang up on us, then we're basically screwed. So this is going to be a very, very, I'd see this occurs 23 degrees and 20 minutes. Opposite the sun, so we got to be careful, y'all. This new moon, I think, did I say new moon? What? Hang on. Yeah, to new moon. I'm sorry, not new moon, full moon. I think we are going to see some things come up in terms of, if it hasn't already happened, a little bit more backpedaling, if you will, by Trump, a little bit more backpedaling. If you remember, he did all this tariffs and then he put it on hold for 6 months. That's all like brain fucking people. But anyhow, we are going to see a little bit more backpedaling by Trump in terms of relationships with other countries and other governments. There's going to be more of that come, because if they don't realize, if he doesn't realize, and if he continues down that path of saying, fuck you, I'm the superpower, I You know how they put simple interest and compound interest? I started at 60% tariff, I went up to 124, now I'm at 134. I'm going to hike it up to 175 if you continue to push me, where he can't do that, because what's going to happen is they're going to put ourselves in America in a situation where basically we did it to ourselves. Yeah, I mean, Debbie, it's 11th in the United States because you're 10 and a half hours behind. For me, it's the 12th already. So, depending on where you are in the universe. So, I mean, that's like not something that really needs to be explained, right? So, but so I'm going to say, if he doesn't find that moderation, this is not a good place. And you can't blame anybody else for that. We got to blame him. We got to blame ourselves, because this is imprison. We purposefully, knowingly, understandably imprison ourselves. We limit ourselves. That is not a good. And then we have the Hermit card, which is, wait a second, hang on, this is crazy, hang on. Be prepared for more shit to go down, y'all. And then we have the 9 of Cups, right? Oh, and the Fool card. There we go. So, if we don't find moderation, if we don't wake up and say, we got to fix this shit, we can't continue down the warpath and like basically be a bully, which is what he's doing. And America has always been a bully because it's a superpower, flex its muscles. So, in a way, yes, it is like, you are a superpower, you have earned that right to flex your muscles, but at what cost? That's the question, at what cost? Now, for any of y'all say, oh, she's not a true American, look, y'all, I am a true American, I am an American citizen, I sworn my allegiance to the country, my loyalty is to the country, even though I was born somewhere else, believe it or not. You could say I'm more loyal to America than quite a few others. But because I'm loyal to the country, I am not going to blindly follow and accept everything that they are doing. I'm going to ask questions. I want to know the truth. In the interest of the country, you cannot have a blind. You cannot like just turn a blind eye to reality and say, oh, I am loyal to America, hence I choose not to see the negative. No, you can't do that. How is that being loyal? Because you purposefully choose to be blind, you purposefully choose to ignore the negative stuff that's going on, doesn't make you any more loyal. It does not. Loyalty is having the clarity of thought, in my opinion, having the clarity of thought, having the, the strength of character to be able to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and make a decision and say, is that really working overall for everybody? Acknowledging, you cannot just turn a blind eye and say, oh, I'm not going to look at that because I'm a loyal American. Hello, that thing that you're not looking at, choose to ignore, is going to bite you in the ass. How does that make sense? Okay, I won't get into that any further, but anyway. So, we end up over here, we do it to ourselves, and then we go to the Hermit card. What is the Hermit card? Hermit card is Virgo. And what is Virgo? It talks about analyzing, thinking, trying to go back to the drawing board and restructuring and saying, holy shit, here we are, what do we do, where do we go, how do we figure this out? Didn't we have some planets here? Somebody was going into Virgo. Where did I see that? Why didn't I write it down? Yeah, girlfriend, hang on. There's something else going on in Virgo right now. I lost it, y'all. I should have written all that down, but I didn't, because I thought this is enough. If I get even further into astrology, then anyway. So Virgo is the third house for Cancer. Let's figure that out. So what is the third house? It's your mental state, it's your profession, courage, immediate environment, it's editing, it's printing, it's writing, negotiations, neighbors, right? Neighbors. So in terms of trying to analyze, go back to the drawing board, withdraw, use your wisdom, take some time out, go back to the drawing board and reconfigure, redo your plan. You have a plan for your house, right? And you take it to the city. I need you to approve these plans because I want to build my house. And the city looks at it and says, oh, no, you made a boo-boo here, you made a boo-boo there, that's against code, we can't allow it. So the city sends a plan back, and the architect and the structural engineer need to go back and sit and redo it to make sure it's up to code. That is the most important time, and we really need to reconfigure neighbors, our immediate neighbors, immediate environment, our neighbors. We have to go back to the, when I say we, I mean the government. I'm not a decision maker. I'm not sitting in the White House, clearly. So they have to go back to the drawing board and reconfigure and say, look, we kind of can't, come on, man, restructure this, restructure that. I hope they do that. In fact, they will do that because we don't have a choice. The country doesn't have a choice because you're there. You're going to be a dick and put yourself over there. And when you are in a situation there like that, self-imprisonment, self-limitations, then the fire is going to be lit under your ass because you're going to say, oh shit, I never thought about this. And then you, by default, right, you're going to go back. The energy, the momentum is going to take you back to the drawing board to reconfigure. So hang on to your panties. Hang on to your pants. Hold on to your I was going to say jock straps, but not your suspenders, right? Changes are coming, and this is not something that's over and done well. We are going to see a lot more of this drama unfold for the rest of this year and going into the next year. There's going to be anyway. Okay, moving on. I'm not going to get into that any further. Then we end up with the Nine of Cups. So let's look at this. So Nine of Cups is central here because of the fact that it's fallen with the country, the Chariot card and the Water card and all that stuff. So what does Nine of Cups in the tarot talk about? It says, yeah, your wish is coming true, yada yada and all that. But here's the situation. You may have, if you go back to the drawing board, if you sit and you really analyze and if you think about how to moderate, maybe our approach was a little too aggressive, maybe our approach came from an egotistical position of a bully, maybe, we go back and we fix it and we moderate it and come out with a little bit more moderate approach. When I say moderate, I'm not going to say, I don't mean like, well, maybe I do. Moderate approach, a little bit, soften the blow, if you will, right? And take into consideration that no drastic measures will get us there. Like if you go balls to the walls, sure, there's going to be you're going to leave a wake of devastation on the trail. There's going to be collateral damage. We want to reduce the collateral damage. That's what this is all about. We have to, as a country, as a nation, as an economy, collateral damage, we got to take that into consideration. So if America, right, if a government goes back to the drawing board and says, okay, we will now figure this out, but they're waiting, they think they have a magical formula that will resolve this, but they don't, because right after that we have the Fool card, and I'll tell you why. If they take a moderate approach, if they take a measured approach, we may have some chance of pulling through this and not going into full-on legit depression, right? So the Fool card pops up, and what does the Fool card says? Change, risk-taking, new beginning, okay? But here's the thing, the Fool card has got some Pisces influence over here. Then, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 house. So I am going to say that for the next 2.5 years, there's a lot of risk-taking, there's a lot of new beginnings, there's a lot of change that's going to happen in our country, for our people, for our economy. And is all of it going to be good? No, it's not all going to be good, because the Fool card is again Uranus. Uranus is some very strong, what is it? Sudden changes and shocks. It's like Uranus doesn't ease you into things. Uranus, it just goes. See, we always think about Mars, for example, is fire, fire, burn, burn, burn. Uranus also is devastating, just as devastating as the Martian energy, or the Jupiter energy, or Saturnian energy. Keep in mind, Jupiter is not a destructive planet, but because of its core value as being like emphasize, blow up, magnify any everything, not anything, everything. So if it is positive, it magnifies that, makes it even better. If it's negative, it magnifies that. So from that perspective, Jupiter would, based on where it is, can make things even worse. But Uranus is like unrelenting. It's like boom, like constantly poke, 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 poke. It's like okay, moving on, because I can get stuck in that. So next 2.5 years, see, let's take this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a bit of a long journey ahead of us, y'all. Next 2.5 years. Okay, moving on. So we have the 4 of Cups. Okay. Then we have the King of Pentacles, and then we take this guy, and then we have the 8 of Cups. See, y'all, this is the next 2.5 years. It's going to be quite trying for American people, even though by some magic manufacturing comes back and all. It's not like, oh, the moment the manufacturing comes back, everything is going to be fine and we're all going to be going to the bank and we're all going to be winner, winner, chicken dinner. No, things don't turn on a dime like that. We have the 4 of Cups. So as much as they may try to moderate, measure, balance, and come out with some new plans, it's not necessarily going to be accepted with open arms, because then the situation is such that beggars can't be choosers. So therefore, we as the American people, our economy as such is going to have to make do, because now there's no turning back. Some damage has already been done. You cannot go back and recover that. So fine. Do we have a choice? No, you don't have a choice. You go to the doctor diagnoses you as having some sort of a terminal illness, and then the doctor says you have to have a particular treatment, and the patient says, do I have a choice? The doctor says, nope. What do? You say, okay, fine, I accept it. That's the situation, right? Then you have the King of Pentacles. So here what happens is, again, falling in the central position, there's going to be a real effort put in. Wait for another 2.5 years. There's going to be drama. There's going to be a real effort put in terms of trying to restructure I do believe the American dollar is also going to be affected as far as its value is concerned. Trying to restructure, try to reconfigure, try to manage, try to manipulate our finances, our monies, the dollar literally, and try to cut more slack, give more help and aid for these manufacturing plants, because it's like, oh, I put you through the ringer, so you're back. I got to incentivize you and give you, show you my thanks and appreciation. So therefore, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this for all these manufacturing plants, for having done us a favor of coming back to America. Here we go again. Here we go again. What is that going to cost the people? Where is the money coming from? Who do we owe the most amount of money to? China. So what is America going to do at that point? Are they going to start printing more money? Okay, if they print more money, what's going to happen to the value of the dollar? So we're fucked. And then we have the 8 of Cups. Look, y'all, our economy is not going to go back to what we had an opportunity for it to go back to. What could have been, should have been, we can't. But I do believe this whole drama, the American people are going to really look at the Republican Party, look at Trump from a very different perspective henceforth, and emotionally walking away and wanting to detach itself from the people are going to start detaching themselves from distancing themselves from you're going to have a lot of fallout in the current government, right? The ruling party. There's going to be a lot of fallout. A lot of people who used to support Trump and all that, they're going to be like, hold on a minute. So there's going to be a power struggle. I think, when do the midterm elections come, y'all? That's going to be critical, because I do believe there's going to be a power struggle. Then you have the Page of Cups, and you have the Three of Wands. So I think midterm elections are going to be quite telling. So watch out for that. There is going to be a power struggle. The strength card is Leo. Leo is the second house for Cancer, and is the third house for Trump. So second house talks about the balance, your securities, your values, earned income, the family, that sort of stuff, negotiable assets. There's going to be a lot of struggle in terms of the power dynamics between the Trump administration and the opposition, between Republicans and Democrats in midterm elections. It's going to be quite telling. And then you're going to have the Page of Cups pop up. So Page of Cups is again a water energy, and it talks about a new, younger person who might be principal in this, who might be taken over, or also an interim president, if you will. There's going to be some drama over there. There's going to be talk about it, and they're going to be like, nah, man, no. Now for the other year and a half or 2 years that they're going to be in power, for the 4-year term, even if Trump stays, they're going to force him to take a little bit of a backseat and like, calm down, bro, like, stop, right? Just shut up. And I think he will also kind of start beginning to sit back a little bit. Then you have the Three of Wands. So that is what is going to slowly start the momentum, the movement. Clearly every 4 years, right? So from 3 years from now, you're going to start seeing the teamwork and the effort, and people are going to start preparing for the next elections and the movement. You're going to have some key people moving from Republican Party to Democrats, or just plain retiring, saying, I'm done with this bullshit, I can't deal with this anymore. We're going to see some of that happen also, like true Republican supporters, or even some Democrats who are supporting with Trump, right? Some key players, they're going to be like, no bro, no more. So you're going to be seeing some changes to the Republican Party, you will. And then you have the Knight of Swords. Man, that's going to come about fast. Yeah. Some changes. That's the Republican Party. I am not so sure about the. And then you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. I'm going to stop at that. So that was a lot, right? So either way, I do believe the last card being the Five of Pentacles. I think our American economy is not going to be flying sky high the way they have pitched it to us. See, y'all, we are still going to be in a little bit of a poorhouse, if you will. So, not a good look. And it's very, very sad. I mean, look at this country, look at the trajectory of this country. See, even though Doge has saved $60 million there, $100 million there, $400 million here, yada yada, and all that, which is fine and dandy, that is fine. That's excellent, rightfully so. About time is what I say. But that's the thing, right? Here you are, you want to go to a particular store and you want to buy something in bulk because it's cheaper, and you end up saving $100 there, but you turn around and go to another store and buy something that's like escalated price, crazy, and you think you have saved money. You're not, technically have not. When you distribute the cost, it's do you get what I'm saying? You really haven't saved as much as you think you have. So think about that. Oh, my throat is itching now, so which means, yeah, good. Yeah. All right, y'all. So, any questions? Y'all, please spread the word around. Help me grow my channel. Give me a thumbs up. First and foremost, thank you for being here. Help me grow my channel. Thank you for participating. Your comments, sometimes they're like just crazy. Jan on it says facts. Thanks, Jan. I didn't see you step into the to the party, but thank you for popping by. Help me spread the word. Help me grow my channel, y'all. Seriously, help me grow my channel. I would really appreciate it. If I had come back on the in last month, I would have organized something for my anniversary. March 1st is the anniversary of this channel, right? So I think I'm in my 4th year now, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But since I won't be back for another 2-3 weeks, I'll definitely organize something once I'm back home because it's easier for me to manage. So, hi Araceli, how are you? Good to see you. So, excuse me. How are you doing, Araceli? So, I don't even know how many people are watching. Only 19 people. That's okay. No problem. I don't know what else to do to grow my channel. I mean, I just don't. But whatever. Maybe the universe is holding me back for a reason. I don't know. Like I said, I don't do all that shenanigans and steal somebody else's work and label it as my own and do shit. Come on, y'all. We know all that shit happens, and it breaks my heart. But then it's like, whatever, y'all. Instant gratification. Go pay all those websites to, fake subscribers and fake comments and all that. I'm not doing all that. Organically, I want it to grow because that's being. It's a matter of principles, right? But then again, I'm like, shit, come on, enough already. Can we get some more people in the house, please? So, Ella for day one. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. I was just about to wind down. I'm sorry, but then again, what is the time back home, at least in Texas? Is it 9 already now? Wait, let me see. Yeah, it's 8:06 p.m. So, whew. Y'all, I'm struggling because I ended up getting another flare-up and I ended up getting one big old patch over here. So that, anyway, on fire right now. My body is on fire. But anywho, so what else we got going on, y'all? Do y'all have any questions for me with regard? We won't do personal questions now because this is not for members only. But do we have any questions? So just to share a little thing, I'm a little bit more careful about the clothes I wear because I try to stick to natural fabrics like cotton, silk, wool, pure wool. But then if I'm using wool, then I have to wear a lining because wool is not necessarily smooth and soft. Sometimes it's a bit rough. I try to check for texture, and even cotton sometimes, if it's just that linen, until you wash it a couple, 2-3 times, it's a little stiff and that bothers me. But I have realized that I have become more intolerant to synthetic things like I'm allergic to lycra and silicone, so latex, lycra and latex. So I have seriously become so intolerant, and I'm sharing this because those of you who know I have been diagnosed with lupus and Sjogren's and rheumatoid arthritis now. So just sharing a little stuff for y'all. So our underclothes, like our panties or whatever, when they stitch, they apparently use latex that thread has got some latex for elasticity or some, I do not know what. So if I didn't even know, I was like getting rashes wherever the holes where you put in your legs, right, where it's cut, and around the waistband, and I'm like, why am I getting it only there? I'm not wearing things that are so tight, it's ridiculous. Like, why am I getting these rashes around there? Why am I getting these rashes around there? Because the rest of it is made out of cotton, like pure cotton, right? I don't wear synthetic underclothes. I can't deal with it. Except, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So I was like, why? And I was like, a whole bunch of them. I said, okay, maybe there's something in it. Maybe I need to rewash it, do this, and of course go through everything, right? Then one day I'm sitting there and I'm like, let me see if there's anything like poking or something like that. And I'm running my fingers through the edges, right? Like that. I'm running my fingers through the edges and I'm looking. And then I read the label and it says the material that they use for that stitching has got some percentage of latex. I was like, shit! And I stopped using that and I'm fine. So another thing, some of our slip-on sandals and all that, at the back they have a little bit of elastic so it stretches. Right over there I get a rash again. I'm like, what is going on over here? I mean, pretty soon I will just have to wear take like in Halloween they take a bed sheet, they cut a hole for the head and they just drape it on them. I'll be walking around like that next at this rate. It's crazy, but anyway. So Araceli says, Bahamas, here we come. What? Are you going to Bahamas? I got off work this morning and will be, oh, wow, well, have fun. Take care, be safe, enjoy yourself, come back and tell us how girl, you can't be watching any YouTube while you're on your vacation. You can't. No television, no electronics, just go enjoy yourself. Seriously, girl, you earned it. You, Araceli, absolutely are deserving of that vacation. Our first vacation that is not going to visit family. Oh, listen, going on races, I'm so excited. Girl, listen, you got to switch off your phone. You got to switch off your computer. Okay? Don't even listen to music. Seriously, just be in the moment and enjoy yourself. Seriously, you earned it, girl. Yeah, polyester is not a good thing. Yeah, I understand like recycling and repurposing and all that. I get it. I mean, that's even cotton you can recycle and repurpose, right? Heck, these days they're making paper out of bamboo. They're making paper out of, coconut husk, and they're making this and that and everything. That's fine. But synthetic fabrics, y'all, whatever. See, then again, it's consumerism, right? Because natural fabrics, you got to iron them because they are not wrinkle free, right? I love linen. I absolutely, if I could wear linen every single day, I would do it. Linen is the best fabric on the face of the earth for me, better than silk, because it breathes, it's light, it's clean, but the moment you wear it, like within 2 seconds, you got wrinkles all over. So for practical purposes, they say 90% linen and 10% nylon or rayon. That 10% is what causes me problems. So I have to be very, very careful about using, even buying linen. So when I go to the stores, right, I mean, shopping in the States, you see all these fancy brands and they say, oh, pure, oh, silk, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't feel like silk. Hold on a second. I come from the land of silk. I'm like, this doesn't feel like silk. And I go read how many times I pointed it out to people and I'm like, that's not silk, that's polyester. And they read the label and they say, oh shit, yes, it is polyester. Cracks me up. And they sell it for gazillion dollars. I mean, it's like polyester and you're charging actual silk rates. Wait, so she goes, oh no, laugh a day, are you okay? What? Wait. Oh, that's what she meant. Oh, how are you? Girl, what kind of brain surgery is it that you had a brain surgery on Monday and here you are up and about and watching videos? What was it? Well, I hope you feel better. I mean, heck, that's a bit scary, right? Oh, she goes, shunt malfunction, had to strongly advocate because surgeon didn't believe there was an issue. Oh my goodness. What the hell, girl? I hope you're getting enough rest. I mean, it's just scary, right? Oh man, oh my goodness. Okay, now they're talking medical. Obviously, Araceli, like she knows, I don't know medical stuff, but wow. Girl, you better be resting and so glad you were able to advocate for yourself. Take care, speedy recovery. Okay, so that's about that, y'all. So for those of you who joined late, go back and watch it. It's just interesting. I think it is interesting, but I'm just gonna pull 3 cards for Trump just because I'm curious. Show me the energy about Trump. Oh, they want me to do this too. I'll just put. Holy moly. A laugh a day one. Girl, you best be resting and taking care and whatever. I mean, heck, what in the world? Okay, let me focus. Show me the energy of Trump, around Trump. We have the moon card right off the bat for him. We have the magician. His powers are his powers are under question. Okay. I said I was only going to take 3 cards. Well, guess what? I've got more cards. 1 more card. There we go. Oh, I'm not surprised. So, there is a lot of secrecy, a lot of 5 of swords at the bottom. No, man, this isn't looking too good. There is a lot of secrecy, there is a lot of hidden agendas, there is a lot of deception in terms of instability, in terms of his position as the magician, and the magician, as we know, is Mercury. Mercury also rules Gemini. The magician talks about somebody who has the ability to create, right? A person in a position that can create. But the magician, there's also some deceptiveness to it. Think about magic, it's being deceptive. So there is a lot of doubt, there's a lot of deception in his abilities as a leader of the nation. And even within his own party, there are people who are questioning it. Then you have the 2 of Wands over here. So the 2 of Wands is saying, like, look, here's the thing. Time to make a decision. You have a choice. Make a decision. Because the judgment card pops up, and the judgment is Pluto. And people have spoken. People have seen. People are seeing with a little bit more clarity what you are really about. And I had said in one of the earlier readings that there is going to be backstabbing, there is going to be betrayal, and it's going to come from within for Trump. He's got to watch out for that. And I'd also said that people are going to feel like they have been betrayed by him, which is clearly what's going on now. But here's the thing. with the Judgment card popping up, there's going to be an attempt to rein him in. There's going to be an attempt to restructure. So again, watch out for the midterm elections, y'all. I think there's going to be some drastic changes. And then you have the Seven of Cups. So people are going to say, look, there are so many choices. There are so many options that you have. And he still is living in his illusion, thinking that he's got a lot of choices. If this happens, I can do that. If that happens, I can do this. But right after that, he's got the Gemini card, which is he's a Gemini and is a Lover's card, right? And it says duality. Again, temperamental. So, and then you have the Eight of Swords, which is moving away. Look, people are going to be more open about, and they're going to be more Eight of Wands, I meant, not Eight of Swords. People are going to be more outspoken, more bold in terms of questioning his ability as a leader. So there's going to be some really quick changes that are going to come to his position. And at the bottom you have the Five of Swords. So he's going to have a fight on his hand. Yeah, it's not looking good for. But then he brought it on himself too. He brought it on himself. So people in his own party are not too keen on him. So So to answer your question, Law for Day 1, is Trump ever going to be held accountable for his actions? If you mean like go to prison, I doubt it. I doubt it. Because he's going to buy his way out of it. He's very slick. He's just going to keep tying things up in legalities, and ultimately people are going to forget about him and move on. Okay, somebody asked another, that's to answer your question, Law for Day 1. So on Melania, I don't want to go look at Biden, but we'll see Melania. Where is she? I don't know what her sun sign is, and this will be the last. He is a compulsive liar. We know that. I mean, first and foremost, they don't have an intimate relationships. Melania and Trump, they have stopped having intimate relationships a year ago. So just so you know, years ago, Melania. I don't know her date of birth. Let me just quickly look on internet what her date of birth is. Let me see. I'm not going to do a chart and all that for her because I just don't want to. She was born on April 26th, right? So let's go back here and just see April 26th. To do April 26th, so her birthday is coming up. How old is she? She's 56 or something, right? She's 54. April 26th. So April 26th is what? Is she? Wait. Oh my goodness. April 26th is Taurus. She had a great opportunity, April 26, 1970. Thank you. Jupiter was in Taurus, so Jupiter has left Taurus and Jupiter is going into Gemini. That's the only saving grace for Trump because I haven't looked at his chart, but Jupiter going into Gemini, there's going to be some momentum, there's going to be some luck, there's going to be some positivity that come out of it. Melania just crossed that because Jupiter was in Gemini, and she is a Taurus. So no, Jupiter was in Taurus and is moved now to Gemini. Sorry. So she had a bit of an opportunity over there for her to do whatever she. Taurus is the first house, so. But here's the thing: 1, 2, 3, 4,000. No, her life, because I have Leo here, and then I have this card which says her family life, her home as she knows it is kind of, there's destruction there, disillusionment, dissolving. Judgment. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they head to 5. Oh shit. Knight of Wands. 4 of Cups. Six of Pentacles. Look, she's just waiting for the right time to file for divorce. She's had enough. He has convinced her, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, or else, and or else I'll lose the election, because obviously having having her by his side adds value to his resume, isn't it? So their relationship has been defunct for a while. It's just like a formality, and she is checked out. She is emotionally, mentally, physically checked out of the relationship, but she's tired. She's like, I'm so over this. It's like the Judgment card, Pluto. I'm like over. I need change. And 5 of Swords. She's like, no, I am so over that. I am so over. The lying and the bullying and the cheating and the this and that. I'm over. She's done with him. She can't stand him. She's already, again, these are my observations, my opinions, and allegedly do your own research, do your own due diligence, draw your own conclusions, and this is for entertainment purposes only. She prefers a much younger energy, and she's hanging on because even the younger energy is not offering her what she really is looking for and offering, but she's hanging on because there's give and take. This is a mutually agreeable relationship at the moment for her. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my observations and my opinions. Do your own due diligence, do your own your research, draw your own conclusions, and these are allegedly. So there, take that. It's a mutual understanding where they are at right now. So, but she, I don't feel bad for her. She's smart. I don't feel bad for her. Well, look at her. Where does she come from and where is she today? I mean, lap of luxury. You know, she wasn't born into the wealthiest family, and she doesn't have an education beyond high school or whatever, if at all, and look where she's at. I mean, so from that perspective, she did pretty good for herself. What's there to feel bad about? She knew who she was getting into bed with. I mean, for God's sake, when she married him, he was just as older to her then than he is now, so she knew she was marrying a much older guy, but nobody held a gun to her head and said, you got to marry Trump. She was okay with it because she saw an out and she took advantage of it. And do you blame her? No, a lot of people do that. It's not just her. So it was an opportunity, and she was not, she took the opportunity and she said, I'm going to run with it. This is what is going to make my life. And she did, and she made a life and lived in lap of luxury, is living in the lap of luxury, and enjoys all the perks. But at some point, she must have realized, yuck, ugh. So a lot of people do that. There's a particular name that they use for people like that. I don't care one way or another because it's not my money she's after. I'm not the one who's facilitating her lifestyle. Somebody else wants to do it, that's on them. Do I give a fuck? I don't. Do I necessarily like her? I know she's pretty looking, she dresses well, she's fashionable, that's fine. But other than that, do I have any special affections or respect or whatever for her? No, not really. So, there you go. Duck lips. No, she doesn't. I already. Yeah, it's a business relationship. Don't feel sorry for her. She knew exactly what she was getting into. Y'all, why are you feeling sorry for her? She knew exactly what she was getting into. And she wanted to fly under the radar and not ever be in the spotlight, because it's like all the, I married you and you facilitated a certain lifestyle. I'm fine, but I don't want anything beyond that. But so anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, everybody. I so appreciate you all for being here. Blessed be. Stay safe. Be happy. Be healthy. Right? Help me get my channel grow, y'all. That's my goal, but we'll see. So thank you so very much. Watch out. Wednesday I'll do another actually, when I was trying to schedule this, right, when I was scheduling this video, I actually did the Karen Reed series, and then at the very last minute I changed it and I said, no, let's talk about the tariffs, because I haven't spoke about it in a long while. Let's draw cards for that. So the next one is going to be the Karen Reed series, so there'll be the next group of people that's going to pop up. So watch out for that. And Wednesday, as usual, I'm going to be do the members only, but I'm going to hold back on my Saturday, first and third Saturday, for a little bit until I get back home. So we'll pick that up again in the first week of May, because I'm going to be traveling now. Since I'm here, obviously I've got some travel schedule coming up, so I'm not going to be able to do it next Saturday. And next 19th will be the third Saturday. I won't be able to do it. So I'm just going to hold off on that until I get back home, because I'll be back home on the 30th. And the first Saturday in May is going to be the 3rd. So for those of you who do my Saturday, first and third Saturday Zoom sessions, just know that I'm not doing it this. I do apologize for that. I don't have any control over this. I have to go. So the next couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks that I'm here, right, there's 2.5 weeks, there's a little bit of travel going on, so I'm basically screwed. But hey, Wednesday, oh, that reminds me, holy moly, hold on a second, not May, April. Oh, great. Because I just realized this whole next week there's a bunch of travel, right? I'm going to be gone for 4 days, but I'm going to try and fit in the Wednesday. And next week, I know Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I am gone, but Wednesday night I come back very late, 23rd night. But since I'm 10.5 hours ahead of you, I'll be fine, because basically Thursday morning I'll be doing I'll be fine. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Take care. Araceli, have fun. Remember, Araceli, you cannot use a computer, you cannot use a cell phone, you cannot even listen to music. You need to go and just chill, girl. Have fun, take care, be happy, be safe. It'll be fun when we get back together, but come back and let us know how your trip went, okay? Take care.